What if I told you that working as a video editor for the world's most famous YouTuber gave you a superpower? Not the ability to go viral, not access to celebrities, not free money challenges. I mean a literal financial superpower, the ability to see the future. To know weeks before the rest of the world exactly who wins, exactly who loses, and exactly which numbers are about to move. And what if I told you that someone inside MrBeast's empire figured that out and used it to make money on a federal betting platform? And what if the US government just caught them? Stay with me, because by the end of this video, you're gonna question everything you've ever watched on that channel. And you're gonna realize that the creator economy, as you knew it, is gone. Let's start with the moment itself. February 25th, 2026. A notification goes out, not to fans, not to entertainment journalists, but to financial analysts and federal regulators. Kalshi, a prediction market platform operating under the direct oversight of the Commodity Futures Trading Commission. The CFTC announced that it had fined and permanently banned a man named Artem Kaptur. His job title? Visual effects editor. His employer? Beast Industries, the company behind MrBeast. The fine was almost insultingly precise. In disgorgement, which is a legal term for give back every single dollar you made, and a $15,000 punitive penalty. And then came the part that sent shockwaves through Silicon Valley, Wall Street, and every YouTube content house in between. Kalshi formally referred the case to the CFTC for a full federal investigation. Let that sink in. A YouTube editor, referred to the same federal body that investigates commodity fraud, market manipulation, and Wall Street insider trading. This wasn't a terms of service violation or suspending your account email. This was the United States government officially declaring that the outcome of a MrBeast video constitutes material non-public information, the same legal designation that sends corporate executives to prison for trading on unreleased earnings reports. In a single enforcement action, the federal government had just classified a YouTube channel's video timeline as a financial instrument. The Wild West era of the creator economy had a new sheriff, and the first arrest was one of Jimmy Donaldson's own. So how did this actually happen? Because this is where it gets genuinely brilliant in the most criminal way possible. Kalshi is a regulated prediction market. Think of it like a stock exchange, but instead of buying shares in Apple, you're buying contracts on real-world outcomes. Will this team win? Will this bill pass? Will this contestant be eliminated? And until recently, you could also bet on whether a specific MrBeast video would hit a certain view count within 48 hours of upload. These markets had real money in them. And the people betting on them were treating MrBeast video performance the same way day traders treat earnings reports, as a predictable, quantifiable event. Here's where Kaptur's advantage was total and absolute. As a VFX editor, he wasn't watching the video drop with the rest of the world. He was building the video. He knew the final cut. He knew the title. He knew the thumbnail. He knew the pacing, the story arc, and the reveal. He was sitting inside the financial instrument itself, weeks before it became public. Kalshi's surveillance systems flagged his trades as statistically anomalous. His win rate was described internally as near perfect, placing bets on markets with low implied odds and hitting them at a rate that probability theory says is essentially impossible without foreknowledge. In the language of federal investigators, this is what's called a smoking gun pattern. But here's the darker layer. Kalshi requires real name verification, know your customer protocols, or kick. That's how Kaptur got caught. He was trading under his own name. Meanwhile, on Polymarket, a decentralized prediction platform with no identity verification, winning probabilities for Beast Games contestants were being pushed to 94% weeks before the show's finale aired publicly. That doesn't happen from good guessing. That happens when someone with access to the production timeline decides to profit anonymously. Kalshi has opened over 200 insider trading investigations in the past year alone. Kaptur was the first public case, and almost certainly the easiest because he forgot the first rule of insider trading. Don't do it under your real name. The question that should terrify everyone at Beast Industries right now is simple. How many Artem Kapturs are still operating in the shadows? Now you might be thinking, okay, one rogue editor, bad apple, isolated incident. Except the evidence strongly suggests that the editing room at Beast Industries isn't just where this crime happened. It may be the very environment that made it feel justified. In February 2026, YouTuber Rosanna Pansino, someone with a documented and contentious history with the MrBeast brand, came forward with explosive new allegations. She claimed that VFX editors at Beast Industries were being instructed to digitally alter environments in charity videos. Specifically, she alleged that productions were making hospitals look more populated than they were, and homes look more complete than they actually were, all to amplify the emotional impact of the philanthropy on screen. This is not a minor allegation. If true, it means that the very editors responsible for rendering the truth of a MrBeast video were being asked to manufacture a more compelling version of reality. The line between great storytelling and fabricated documentary becomes razor thin. And once you've accepted that you're in the business of manufacturing emotional narratives, once you've digitally populated a hospital that wasn't full, the leap to manufacturing a market outcome starts to feel a lot shorter. Pansino's relationship with the brand goes back further. During the Creator Games 3 controversy, she alleged she was edited out of a top 3 finish despite actually placing 3rd. She apologized at the time. In part, she's suggested due to the wave of harassment that followed from the fan base, but her return in 2026 with far more detailed and technical allegations paints a picture not of a one-time mistake, but of a systemic editorial culture where the truth of an event is always subordinate to the impact of the story. Ask yourself this: if an employee is working inside a company where altering reality is a standard production tool, where the hospital was made fuller, where the winner might have been swapped in post, what ethical firewall exists between that and placing a bet on a market you know is, at least partly, already decided? While the Kaptur story was detonating in the financial press, a separate and deeply troubling thread was unspooling in the court system. Early 2026 saw the unsealing of documents from a class action lawsuit filed against Amazon, MrBeast's production entity MrB 2024, and Amazon Alternative, the production companies behind Beast Games, the show billed as the largest reality competition in history, offering a $5 million prize. The unsealed documents describe conditions on set that read less like a television production and more like a labor violation case study. Allegations include the failure to pay minimum wages, a production environment pervaded by what the documents call misogyny and sexism, claims of negligent infliction of emotional distress, allegations that contestants were denied basic necessities, and critically, the use of overbroad non-disclosure agreements to suppress complaints from people on set who tried to speak out. Female contestants, according to the documents, bore the brunt of the worst conditions. The production companies, the suit alleges, took no meaningful action to protect them. Now layer that against the public face of the brand. The charity, the philanthropy, the tearful recipient videos, the I just want to help people narrative that Jimmy Donaldson has cultivated for over a decade. The gap between those two realities, the public-facing humanitarian and the private production machine described in those court filings, is not a crack. It is a chasm. Former employees have spoken about a workplace culture that demanded they be grateful just for the opportunity to be part of the world's biggest channel. A culture where burnout wasn't a concern to be managed, but a proof of dedication. When you treat people as interchangeable components in a content machine, you erode the moral fabric that keeps those people aligned with the machine's stated values. And then you act surprised when one of them decides to extract value for himself, the same way he watches the company extract value from everyone around him. If the Kaptur scandal is the rot inside the walls, the Lunchley disaster is the rot you can see from the street. Lunchley was supposed to be YouTube royalties' moonshot into consumer products. MrBeast, Logan Paul, KSI, 3 of the platform's biggest names, combining to launch a lunch kit product marketed to children as a healthier alternative to Lunchables. The brand rollout was massive, the ambition was real, and then Rosanna Pansino, again, her name keeps appearing in this story, opened a fresh, in-date Lunchley pizza kit and found it covered in mold, not expired, not mishandled. Purchased fresh, with an expiration date 2 months away. Mold. Social media filled immediately with similar reports. Simultaneously, the Environmental Relief Center issued a notice of violation alleging that Prime Hydration, a core Lunchly kit component in Logan Paul and KSI's flagship product, contained lead levels above legal thresholds. The healthier alternative now had FDA complaints attached to it and reports of consumer illness. The response from the principals was, to put it charitably, tone deaf. Logan Paul and KSI publicly dismissed the backlash as clout chasing. Jimmy Donaldson's response, a heart emoji, was read by a rapidly souring public, not as warmth, but as the most corporate form of deflection imaginable. Dan TDM, the old guard of YouTube's kid-friendly era, crystallized what a lot of people were feeling when he asked publicly, "What happened to YouTubers?" The accusation wasn't subtle, that this was commerce dressed as community, that selling food products to children while knowing about quality issues and waving it away as hater behavior represented a fundamental betrayal of what made these creators beloved in the first place. The Lunchly catastrophe matters to this investigation not just as a brand story, but as context. It shows that the organizational culture capable of allowing an insider trading scandal is the same one capable of rushing a food product to market without adequate quality control. These aren't separate failures. They are expressions of the same institutional priority: growth above governance, metrics above morality, the hit above everything else. And now we arrive at Jimmy Donaldson himself, because no investigation of Beast Industries is complete without examining the man who built it and the extraordinary financial architecture he's constructed around himself. In January 2026, just weeks before the Kaptur case became public, Donaldson sat down with the Wall Street Journal and delivered a claim that stunned the financial press. "I have negative money right now," he said.
"You're a billionaire." I'm like, that's net worth. I have negative money right now. I'm borrowing money. That's how little money I have.
He described keeping less than $1 million in his personal accounts. He claimed to be reinvesting every dollar back into content, productions that now cost upwards of $250 million annually. He even stated he was borrowing money from his mother to fund his wedding. The public reaction was split. Half the internet found it relatable and endearing. The other half, including a growing number of financial analysts, saw it as something else entirely. Here are the facts. Beast Industries is valued at over $5 billion. Jimmy Donaldson's estimated personal net worth is $2 billion, and the CEO of $5 billion company claims he cannot afford a MC Donald's meal. From a purely investigative standpoint, this is not a feel-good story about a creator who loves his craft. This is a description of a company with no liquidity buffer, an organization where every single production must succeed because there is no financial cushion if it doesn't. That kind of existential pressure doesn't just affect the CEO. It filters down through every layer of the organization. It creates a culture where cutting corners isn't laziness, it's survival. Where overlooking misconduct isn't negligence, it's efficiency. Where an editor watching a production he knows is going to be a massive hit might decide rationally that the company is already extracting maximum value from his labor, and he should find a way to extract some for himself. The pressure to maintain the #1 spot on YouTube, to outproduce, outspectacle, outview everyone else, may be the single most important and least examined factor in every scandal currently orbiting this brand. Before I wrap this up, I want to hear from you directly, because this is the question I can't stop thinking about. Jimmy Donaldson says he has negative money. He says he's borrowing from his mom. He says every cent goes back into the content. Is that the genuine sacrifice of an artist who is obsessed with his craft? Or is it a calculated financial and legal posture, a way of positioning himself as personally removed from the institutional decisions happening inside a $5 billion company that bears his name in his face? Drop your theory in the comments. I'll be hearting the most insightful responses. So where does this leave us? Artem Kaptur has been fined $2,397.58, banned from Kalshi for 2 years, and referred to the CFTC for a federal investigation that is almost certainly ongoing as you watch this. He is the first person in history to receive a public insider trading penalty from a regulated prediction market for exploiting access to a YouTube production. But he is not the story, he is the symptom. The story is Beast Industries, an organization simultaneously facing a federal insider trading investigation into its employees, a class action lawsuit for its production practices, a commercial collapse of its consumer food products, and mounting credibility damage from deceptive editing allegations. The story is what happens when a creator who built his brand on the words transparency and charity scales that brand into a $5 billion machine that operates by the same ruthless metrics as any other multinational corporation. The CFTC entry into the creator economy is not a one-time event. The regulatory precedent has been set. A YouTube employee is now legally and formally the equivalent of a corporate insider. Their access to unreleased content is the equivalent of access to unreleased earnings data. The 200-plus investigations Kalshi has already opened are not going to stop at Artem Kaptur. The information gap, that period between when a video is locked in post-production and when it's uploaded to 340 million subscribers, is now a federal crime scene. And everyone with access to it, at every creator house in the industry, just became a person of interest. The Wild West of the creator economy lasted about 15 years. It officially ended on February 25, 2026. The only question that remains is the one the smoke hasn't cleared enough to answer yet. How deep does the rot go? Because if one editor on Kalshi was caught, and dozens more were likely operating anonymously on Polymarket, and the production culture that produced them was already under scrutiny for deceptive editing and labor violations and a moldy lunch product marketed to children, then Artem Kaptur isn't the end of this story. He's the beginning.